Welcome to the Nerd Culture's Dead podcast. I'm your host and thoroughly a nerd, Zach. Today I am joined by my lovely fiancée and fellow nerd, Jennifer.
That's me.
Today we're going to do a little bit of a different discussion, and firstly we'd like to apologize for the long hiatus on podcast episodes. We got the flu, then subsequently moved, so it has been a long and arduous process of getting back into it. Regardless, we thank you for listening, and thank you for being awesome nerds. This podcast episode is going to be about our characters in the Atavar Ascension D&D campaign that is going live on Twitch and YouTube Live starting here
Today.
Yeah, the day that this podcast is being recorded, we are going to be doing our first live session on stream. So we're going to go ahead and do a little talk about our characters' backstory.
Well, I want to do a little plug first. So if you want to listen or kind of get an idea of who our characters are and all that, aside from listening to this podcast, go and check out Atavar Ascension at TOGDM, so TOGGDM, on YouTube and Twitch. I think that's where we're going to be going live, is YouTube Live and Twitch. For all of that, all of the recorded episodes are on YouTube and I think Spotify, some of those other things.
Not Spotify.
Just YouTube, just kidding. It's all audio until today where we are going live with the whole setup. It got us fucking really cool table. Real excited.
Yeah, spent several months making a recording studio. Regardless.
It's going to be cool. Go check it out.
This session is going to be all about our characters, and we're going to give a little dive into our backstory, some stuff you would know about our character from watching for a while. And then we're going to be answering some questions about our characters and seeing where that information takes us, and so you guys can get a little bit of a better perspective on our characters. So I'll go ahead and go first. I play the Wood Elf Ranger. His name is Goldmere. Goes by Gold most of the time. He is more or less the dad of the group, as he is the oldest in the party, being like 285 years old. He an oldie, but a goodie. And more or less his backstory goes as such. Gold and his father were out on a normal hunting trip as usual when the village was far too quiet when they came back. And they came to the site of the entire village having been slaughtered. As Gold turned, he saw a demon. Some aberration, some monstrous form lurching over the corpse of another elf. Walking backwards, trying to get away, he stepped on a twig and caused a snap, the demon snapping his head towards both Gold and his father. His father telling Gold to run, and risking his own life to protect his son, but it wasn't enough, as the demon with bloodied claws came charging towards them, killing his father as Gold ran towards the cliffs. Gold was fortunate enough to jump before the demon had gotten his claws into him, but at a young age, Gold was now familyless on the eastern side of the continent, where he was picked up by a fisherman and was raised in a human village not so far away from his own that had once been alive. Gold, having a sense of duty to give back to his family, had joined the human military and fought in the then Orc Wars, which lasted for around 100 years. We don't have a whole lot of backstory on that yet, because we haven't delved into it too much, as it hasn't been important towards the campaign, but this is where Gold met the character Ajax Windspark. He is a Furbolg cleric who is also in the campaign, played by Daniel. He's more or less my closest friend in the campaign. So our characters have that deep bond of having served in the war for 100 years together under it was a scouting regiment, and their company name was the Blue Devils, which later became the party's name as well. And from there, after serving in the Orc Wars, Gold became a wandering mercenary, as there was no need for a standing military, and just did idle work until he came across the rest of his party members in the coming years, where we meet Persephone.
I guess that's my cue. Hi, I am Jennifer. I play Persephone, otherwise known as Percy. I am a female tiefling. I'm the only female in the party, and I'm the only tiefling almost in the whole world as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen another one of me ever. Continuing on with the dead parents' backstory, as many D&D characters have. I got some of those. A normal, sad, tragic backstory here. Don't want to dive too deep into it, but, parents abandoned me, died, probably. I was adopted. They fucked that up pretty hard, too. Long story short, I may or may not have worked for most of my life, Demon Daddy in the Abyss. So, that's my life. One day I got out. No idea how the fuck that happened. Still trying to figure that one out. I worked for about 4 years with a gang called something. I wrote that shit down. I don't remember what it was. I'd have to look it up again. Anyway.
Was that in Ravensboro?
It probably was. I was not fully prepared for my backstory.
We were prepared for this, I swear.
I don't know. I have it written down somewhere. Insert name here. Anyway, not important. What's important is I got my ass thrown in jail. I was on death's door, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Gold over here found me, and I guess took an interest in me, and next thing you know, I was no longer on the chopping block, and I was now in some party called the Blue Devils, I guess. Which is ironic, because I'm like blue and purple. And devilish, so totally named it after me.
Yeah, you're the total mascot of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we have our rough backstories out of the way, I figure we could go ahead and answer some questions about our characters. So, Jennifer.
Yo.
Persephone, real weird, sexually driven character, it seems.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Has sex like every session.
No, every other session.
What was the inspiration for your character?
Honestly, I don't know that I have an immediate inspiration. Like, typically I draw from media, so, like, I know what my backup character inspiration was. But this one, it was more of I haven't done a lot of D&D. I played a lot of Pathfinder, and I just wanted to try a class I hadn't played yet in D&D. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna try magic. And then Sorcerer and Tiefling kind of just happened. So, I mean, I think that's kind of what I got. What about you?
So I tend to have a lot of linearity between my characters, so as far as the way I've played D&D, it roughly ends up being the same. And my first ever character was a half-elf monk, so I tried to keep the same general character play style while trying out a mechanically different class and relatively different race option here. So I went for the Horizon Walker Ranger because, as my backstory is concerned, there is a devil element there, or not a devil, a demon element, where I have kind of a revenge clique that hasn't really come to light in the campaign yet, but I figured the Horizon Walker would be a good melding of the two since they deal with extraplanar activities. And so I wanted to mechanically blend what I normally roleplay anyway into the same character. So that's where I got my inspiration from.
Okay, well, I guess you kind of dove into some of the next question as well. Any consistencies from previously played characters that you put into this one? I think you kind of answered that.
Yes, insert last answer there.
I know, me personally, I typically like to play Big Dumb Stupid. It's actually very rare that I will even play a female. So the fact that I'm doing that, I think, is strictly because we're recording it, and I didn't want to try to do a guy voice. So sorry in advance, but we needed a girl. It seemed fitting, and this is different from what I normally play, actually. No, okay, let me correct that. I do typically play chaotic neutral with a little asterisk, because it's...
Jen's basically evil.
Yes and no. It's evil without playing evil. I have definitely had campaigns where my DM is like, you need to change your fucking alignment. I was like, oh, alright, sorry, bro.
I'm telling you, I want to bring that up to Jason. Because you need to change your alignment. You're basically evil.
It's an asterisk.
You've literally been extorting people.
No.
This is a wild character for you, so what would you say is your favorite part of playing the character?
I like that it's so different from me in real life, because I'm not as bitchy, I'd like to think, in real life as I am with Persephone. So, like, I get to play the little darker side of me that is deep, deep down in there. She gets to come to light, and it's great.
I don't like that answer.
Well, what do you like about playing Gold?
A lot of my life I've been thrusted into leadership roles, whether that's captain of my teams in high school for cross country or
Fucking nerd.
rather retail management, shit like that. I've always been in the seat of authority, so playing the leader of the group is pretty easy for me. But I didn't want to play a charismatic leader, someone who inspires the party through words. I wanted to be a character who's more a somber, laid back, only tells you something if it's absolutely fucking necessary kind of leader. And I think I kind of struck a chord with that, where Gold is a very low charismatic character. That's his one negative stat. I made sure that he was negative in charisma for this, is that he doesn't speak well with the party often. A lot of the times it's jibber jabber, stumbling on his voice, or he will not have the right words to say and will piss people off. But when he does have a great inspirational moment, that I recall a moment with Leon's character where he had a lot of self-doubt after being beaten up in the last 2 or 3 encounters, right? He didn't feel like he was worthy of being in the party. And Gold told him flat out, no, you're not, you were more than worth it, and gave an inspiring speech. And that stood out amongst all the other moments of inferiority with talking.
You want to talk about inspiring? Remember when we were, not all of us, some of us were in jail, and we had to go to court to sort that shit out. And rather than trusting the sorcerer, who could easily talk this shit through, because I'm a sorcerer and charisma's high as fuck, they decided, fuck it, we pick Gold to represent us.
I'm the only character with a negative charisma score in the party, by the way.
You did so bad. The only reason he let him go is because he felt bad for you.
Yep. Which was a unique way to get out of that situation. I gotta give Jason props for that being a route to success is utter failure in court, where they weren't properly represented, therefore it was a mistrial. Which was absolutely hilarious. But I think that's one of my favorite parts of playing Gold, is despite the mechanical simplicity of the Ranger, I get to have a lot more fun in the roleplay aspect by playing a character that isn't necessarily good in social situations, but is thrusted into the leadership position nonetheless.
Well,
makes a weakness that my character can draw from.
Is there anything you wish to express more of with your character that you're not currently doing?
I'm sure there is something that I would like to be doing with my character that I'm not necessarily doing already or doing enough of. I know when roleplay comes to mind, a lot of people come with voices, but I think Gold's pretty well with my normal voice. I don't have to try real hard. It's not like I'm playing a goblin or a Goliath, like the Wood Elf. I talk a little more eloquently when I'm roleplaying anyway. So I still have that elvish mysticism there.
I have to try to turn off Valley Girl because it makes no sense for Percy.
It would work, but if anything, I would like to just express more roleplay opportunities with the character, but I think that's more of a party thing than the individual character thing.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the same boat there. I like where Percy's gone with everything. I think it's more of a diving into roleplay, and that's something we as a team, I think, need to consensively do together.
Mm-hmm. Any regretful choices you've made so far with your character?
The only regret Percy has is being as nice as she was in the very first session, because that was not what I wanted to do with her. It turned out way nicer than anticipated.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
that made me deep dive into bitchness.
Yeah, I remember you complaining about, like, your character being like a fucking doormat in the party.
I don't remember ever saying that, but alright.
I'm not quoting you or anything, but you were talking about how nice your character was for no fucking reason whatsoever.
It makes no sense. When you were making Gold, just in general, like, did you have any party composition you were thinking of for that, or was it kind of just something that happened? Because, like, I know for me, we needed some more magic. We needed a girl. We didn't have a girl. It made sense. So that's kind of like where I filled in.
Yeah, I mean, to put it bluntly, by the time the party was being compromised or comprised, I understood that Daniel was going to be playing a cleric, which is totally fine. Clerics are good. He wasn't playing a healer. At one point, somebody was talking about playing a druid, so we had a medium healer in the party, but not a dedicated healer. You were pretty set on sorcerer, so that one was easy. Oscar is playing, like, the Blood Hunter or some critical role shit.
Yeah, Daddy Mercer.
I still don't understand quite what his character does, but he hits things and is a tank. That's all I understood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like my tanks.
And then Logan's playing a bard, which to me, in my mind, was he was going to be charismatic and be a big douche, which he hasn't, thankfully. I actually really like his bard now, but really what I was looking for is a consistent damage dealer that could fill some of the utility in the group, because the sorcerer isn't going to be dedicating to utility. They're going to be on damage spells.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had 2 tanks that wanted to focus on damage, and then I had Leon, who is a bard. So I needed to fill a bunch of roles at once, and because Druid was probably already on the table, I went with Ranger, because they're a half-caster and have access to a bunch of different magic spells. So I wanted to be able to heal the party if need be. I wanted to be able to position myself in places that the other party couldn't, and I wanted to be a stealth role. Because I didn't think the bard would be stealthy, but goddammit, he's the stealthiest motherfucker.
Yeah, a little bit of everything all of the time. That's what bards are.
A lot of everything all the time. Bards are OP, man.
Man, the whole point of my character was supposed to be dark shadow bullshit. And I'll get there soon enough, but, like, I don't have Misty Step or anything, which is upsetting. Or, like, Shadow Walk, but, like, we're getting there. And my stealth is not very good. It was, like, the whole concept, and just, nah.
Meanwhile, my character's over here, Misty Stepping, doing everything your character wants to do.
Yeah, a little upset about that, but whatever. So now I want to dive a little bit more into the character itself, as opposed to, like, character creation shit. So let's see. If your character was not an adventurer, what livelihood would they lead?
So this is going to go a little bit into the backstory of Gold here, but when we were first drafting Gold's character, we were kind of stuck on background, right? Because all of the typical elves, right, in fantasy, like, think of fucking...
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, think of Lord of the Rings. And Orlando Bloom, right?
Mm-hmm.
That absolute Chad. He wasn't exactly a royal son, but he was definitely not, like, bottom of the earth. And so what I was kind of thinking with my character was to kind of have a character who had some royal aspect to them, which wouldn't have been important to my character once the whole village was slaughtered, because I was pretty set on having something to do with demons as my backstory. So I wrote it as a soldier background because I served for, 100 years in the Orc Wars. My character initially was I was the first son of an elf who was in charge of a lot of the agricultural side of the elves. So they did a lot of hunting, they did a lot of farming. Not like human farmsteads, but like would manage the forest to make sure it was good for foraging. Shit like that. Like, think Wood Elf flavor on farming and hunting and respecting the nature. But I was set to marry the firstborn daughter of the village chief, so I would have been in a role to possibly become chief of the village. And so that was what my character probably would have done, is he probably would have eventually become village chief about 100 years ago and would be living in the woods just doing elf shit,
Alright. I'd probably still be stealing shit or dead because I got executed in jail. Oh, actually, I wasn't stealing. I was blackmailing. So...
Yeah, you were an extortionist.
Yeah. So, mister, I was gonna get married. Has your character ever been in love?
Nope.
Ah. So you married for the money.
It was an arranged marriage. It wasn't my choice. My character has not been in love in 285 years of existence.
Well, that's depressing. I have also never been in love unless you count love like the relationship between Harley Quinn and Joker, or a kidnapper and their victim. Yeah, Percy's got daddy issues, so that kind of fucks with love sometimes.
Okay. Who would you say you trust most in the party then, if you don't love anybody?
Probably Gold, only because he saved me, and that's the closest I have to any fucks given. Still working on developing relationships. Well, what about you? I assume Ajax, because you're all buddy-buddy?
Yeah, well, me and Ajax fought together for 100 years, so we have a pretty well-established history, and I don't think much could break that bond. We got a bromance going. Mm-hmm. Hardcore bromance.
Where do you see Gold in 5 years?
See, that's a tough question, because right now everything's kind of spiraling out of control with the guild situation in the campaign, so...
I don't know about spiraling out of control. It's spiraled just fine.
And then we have that gnome halfling dude who...
Yeah, that douchebag is a problem.
Yeah, we got lots of problems right now and not a lot of solutions, so... Unless something starts going our way soon, probably dead.
Ah, alright, fair enough. Is there a certain encounter in the game so far, or like location, or just anything we've done so far that you felt safe and at home?
Safe and at home?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anytime we're at the Honey Pot Inn.
Yeah, Honey Pot is the closest to home that I currently have.
Yeah, I mean... And pretty much anytime we're in Eimstead, I feel pretty secure. That's only recently changed with the recent developments with the guild, but, I mean... It's not bad.
Okay, I think I know this one too, but which other character in the party does your character seem to have the most in common with?
Most in common?
Yeah.
Probably also Ajax. Ajax has a pretty similar backstory to me, where instead of his family being slayed by a village, it was by a salamander, which is pretty cool.
So village got murdered by a lizard?
Pretty much, yeah. A big old fire lizard.
Alright.
And then he somehow made his way across to this continent and fought in the Orc Wars.
I'd probably have to say Tomer is probably the closest I got in terms of anything in common.
My man's a gangster.
We both got some pretty shitty backstory stuff. Got some trust issues, got some anger issues. Yeah, I think that's, we both like to bone, so I mean there's that helps.
Yeah, y'all fuck like rabbits.
Yeah, well, no one else puts out. I tried.
What battle in the campaign has been the most memorable for you?
Probably the one we just had kind of recently with the werewolf shit. Only because it's kind of dove more into the root situation. And when I experimented with that, I got more of my backstory. So that was probably the closest I felt to any connection with my character in that sense.
I would have to agree with you on the werewolf fight, because not only did that have a pretty awesome finale where the werewolf is hunting you down because it understands you have the root.
Yeah.
That was pretty fair to infer, even from the party's perspective.
Yeah, and then I finally learned how one of my spells that I've had the entire time works. Yeah.
Then, thematically, it worked with our backstories, too, because I ended up being the one to kill the wolf and save you. Where I, in pretty dramatic fashion, used my extra planar magic on my sword, punctured the werewolf through the knee, and drove it through the roof. Which was...
Oh, he was on the roof already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I drove him through the roof.
Oh, back to... Okay.
Which was pretty fucking cool. Mm. I had a lot of fun in that fight, and it ended up me saving you again, which was another way to further bond our characters.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, bro. What animal best represents your character?
Alright, we're just gonna dive into that. No transition.
Bro, you've got questions written down.
Yeah, don't fucking judge me. You could have picked a different one.
I didn't even read any of the other ones.
Oh, fuck. I don't even know. I wrote this question down. Do you think I'd have an answer to it?
No, we can just skip it.
Yeah, I got nothing, man.
What is currently motivating your character to stay in the party? Also, this is definitely written down as mothering.
Whatever. Fuck off. Do you want my questions or not?
What's currently mothering your character to stay in the party?
I mean... Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's more the concept of I don't have anywhere else to go.
So why not stay here?
Yeah, like, as mean as that sounds, like, I still don't know how I got here. My old group kind of screwed me over a little bit. They didn't care. You saved me, so, I mean, there's that. But, like, the fuck else am I doing?
Drugs.
Oh, well, yeah, but I can do both. What about you? I assumed you formed the party, so that's what's keeping you here? As you started this shit, you might as well end it?
That's not necessarily it. My Gold, as responsible as he is, doesn't have an attachment to the party itself. So, Gold can up and leave anytime he needs to if he sees it being unnecessary action. And really, the only thing that's keeping Gold in this party is the fact that he's got a lead for the first time in 200 years on the demon with that root.
Yeah, I mean...
That root being extraplanar, because Gold can sense portals. He's been trying to detect extraplanar portals for years and has gotten nowhere. But ever since you showed up, shit's been going south, so he's gonna stick by you no matter what.
Oh, that's sweet of you.
In a fucked up kind of way, yeah.
Okay, going that route then. If the situation ever called for it, and every single one of us was down and needing rescuing, who would your character prioritize in rescuing first in a dire situation like that?
See, this is a pretty funny situation. If I had to rescue, like, say you were all in different rooms and I could only pull a lever to save one of you.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably be Persephone.
Wow.
Because
Ajax, I hope that stings a little.
Well, and here is Gold's reasoning behind this. Gold can assume that Ajax can handle himself. We trust each other that much. So I wouldn't have to go out of my way to try and rescue him. I have zero attachments to Tomer. Tomer is the person in the party who Gold hates the most. Leon is only second from the bottom because Gold just doesn't have enough history with Leon yet.
And you've known him more than me.
No, and here's the thing, is I see you as the most valuable because you are the closest to my personal goals. So, keeping you alive would be my priority.
Okay. I would probably have picked Ajax. Because as far as I'm aware, he's the best healer we got. And I like living.
I'm the best healer.
Alright. He's healed me more than you, bitch. I don't want to hear it.
Sorry, I've given you guys good berries. I'll stop that now.
Yo, yeah, your 1 hit point's really doing a whole lot for me.
Yeah, it keeps you from dying.
Yeah, so does my fucking potions. Alright, does your character, does Gold value his own interest above the party's?
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't answer that question.
What was the question?
Who would you or actually you did.
Yeah, I was like, I literally just answered that.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying.
You were literally arguing against why I chose shitty.
Alright,
So, does Gold value his own interest over the party's interest?
That's a tough question.
It's not a tough question. Percy absolutely values our own interest over anyone else's. Absolutely, in a heartbeat.
See, the thing is Gold, he's older at this point, and his self-interests have kind of just been bogged down by time. And so he doesn't see his own interests as being fulfillable as the rest of the parties. So while I think Gold would want to prioritize his, ultimately he would side with the party if it was a reasonable solution. It just depends on what the situation is, but I think Gold would be willing to compromise on that.
Okay. How does Gold feel about keeping secrets from the rest of the party?
Has no problem with it whatsoever.
Same. In fact, I tried, and then you guys get mad at me when I do.
Well, no. The cleric and then the information whore of Tomer wants to not keep secrets from the party. But when it comes to Tomer, he's more than willing to keep secrets.
It makes no sense. Man.
Dogging on Tomer real hard here. His character's a fucking jerk.
Hey, I like Tomer's character.
I like his character, but he's a fucking dick. Gold hates Tomer.
Alright, speaking of dicks, what is your dick size? No, I'm kidding. What is Gold's opinion on killing others? So, like, I guess innocence and just murder in general. How are we feeling about murder? Gold? How's the murder going?
Well, all life is precious. Murder, in the broad sense, killing is justifiable by what the situation is. Like, we're not just going to murder hobo people, but Gold would definitely say, for example, someone's being possessed, right, by an aberration. Mm-hmm. And if you kill the aberration, you stop whoever's being controlled. If I had to kill that person to get to the aberration, it's not the heroic thing to do, but I would do it. Alright, Gold's a realist. He's not going to be sentimental about someone's life when everyone else is still at jeopardy.
Man, I had almost that exact situation happen in a different campaign. I was playing with Josh. I was the one possessed. He knew damn well, Josh, maybe not the character, but Josh knew he could easily have saved me and killed the apparition. He didn't care for my character too much, so he killed me and said, "Oh, sorry, I had to." Still mad at that. I get it, but like, fuck you, man. Made total fucking sense, but like,
Firing shots off at Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not gonna fucking listen to this.
Here we go. This is a good one. What's your character's biggest pet peeve?
Oh, anytime Persephone has to go fucking get involved. So like, we were sleeping.
Anytime Percy has to do anything.
I gotta fucking do shit now. Like, we were camping, we were just taking a good fucking night, and then we could have left good and good alone. But I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was Tomer, but I could be wrong.
It's Tomer.
It was on watch. There was a dude. If we left him alone, he would have been fine, but we fired a warning shot that angered him. So he woke up everybody, or at least some of you guys, to go and help. I was trying to get my fucking sleep because I'm tired. And I have to fucking go get up and cast some shit on this bitch because you guys can't fucking kill him on your own. I have things to do.
Well, to be fair, Tomer hid in a tree the whole combat while fucking Leon and Ajax were getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
So this is
I was sleeping peacefully in my tent until I was awoken for this bullshit.
Hold on, let me tell you about this. So Tomer is on final watch, right? It's turning to daytime. And he decides there's something walking in the brush near us.
I mean, he wasn't wrong. There was.
It may coast by. I'm going to fire a warning shot, and then I'll wake everyone else up. So he fires a warning shot at this, like, almost like a land shark thing. I don't remember what the monster was called. Big old jaws, has a big, massive bite attack. But he wakes Gold up. Gold's like, dude, just let it go. And he, like, goes back to bed, but intentionally stays awake to see what happens. Because he cares, ultimately. Leon is woken up, and Ajax eventually gets up during, like, the second round of combat.
Yeah, the 10 minutes it takes him to put on his armor.
Well, he didn't wear armor, and that's why he got his ass kicked. But Tomer took, like, a really minor hit, and then just jumped in a tree and hid there the whole time, while firing arrows at it, which is totally not the way Tomer normally fights.
It's the way I fight.
Yeah.
Except for the arrows, they're spells.
But
no, they're not. You're close range. You're not a ranger. Don't be... Don't lie to yourself.
I have used swords a lot more than I thought I would. But anyway, Tomer's sitting there up in this tree after starting this fight and is just talking shit down to this monster as Leon gets bit nearly in half and almost dies in a single hit. Same thing happens to Ajax. And then I'm sitting there on top of the thing, like, somehow barely not getting hit, just stabbing it to death.
I'm in the tent.
Well, Tomer's causing problems, and Persephone just goes, fuck it, witch bolt, and just fires out of her tent and shoots the thing and fries it in, like, a hit.
Yeah, and goes back to the fucking tent.
And just goes back to bed.
I think I had to get up twice, which is why I was even more pissed.
But Tomer started this fight, didn't end it, proceeded to hide in a tree the whole time. Which is really not Tomer. It was funny, though.
Everybody gets those days. It's fine.
So, Gold's pet peeve here, and this is a great transition, is characters acting stupid. I really don't like taking action unless you think it through.
Man, Gold would not appreciate any of my other characters, ever.
Oh, yeah, and Gold really doesn't appreciate Tomer for his lack of forethought. He just does stuff. And it really pisses Gold off.
Yeah, you would hate literally any of my other characters.
You mentioned your pet peeve or no?
Yeah, do you not listen to when we fucking do these podcasts?
Nope. I do not listen to anybody.
We had a whole discussion about it. Yes, I've answered it.
Let's see. Yeah, Persephone getting involved. That's what it was.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, it's just a broad fucking answer.
Having to fucking do shit.
Who in the party would your character trust the most with an important secret?
That's gonna have to go back and forth between either Gold or Tomer. Gold, because I don't think he would tell the secret unless absolutely necessary, but he might deem it absolutely necessary. Tomer, because out of everyone there, I think we're realistically... I'm closer with him than I am with Gold.
Yeah,
and I'm still trying to really figure out why. Like, I don't know. It's complicated. It depends on the secret, I guess. Because I still think Tomer would also tell.
Oh, Tomer would rat your ass out so fast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's complicated. I think I would tell Tomer thinking I could confide in him. And then regret it, maybe. But I still feel like Gold would also end up telling it. So I feel like I'm going to regret it either way.
Maybe. Gold doesn't really tell secrets, so, like, Gold is more of an open book kind of character with his personal shit. He's more than willing to listen to a secret.
I specifically remember asking a question about 5 minutes ago about keeping secrets, and you said yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. While his character would do it, he just doesn't feel that it's necessary for most cases. So a lot of the things he would keep secrets from other players by, like, internalizing them. But he wouldn't go out and tell people secrets. So in the vein of, for example, none of the characters in-game know about Gold's family being slaughtered by a demon. Hence why they don't know his demon connection. He hasn't told anybody in the party, but he knows and is keeping it secret from them. So, I wouldn't really trust any of you guys with secrets, and I feel like giving secrets between party members and excluding information is just going to drive a wedge between us, and if I'm the leader, that's a bad idea.
You can just skip around to whatever you see appropriate.
Oh, I know, I'm definitely doing so, because this one is relevant to the last one. Who in the party does your character trust the least and why?
Leon and Ajax, and it teeters between the two. Leon, because Percy doesn't know why, but she can't trust him. We make fun of each other a lot, but I don't know that we can ever really trust each other, at least at the stage we're at now. And then Ajax, because I've communicated the least with Ajax out of anyone in the party. Like, I'll trust him in battle because he's a big strong and I'm a squishy. But in the sense of, like, a personal trust, I think Ajax a little bit more than Leon.
Okay. So, for Gold, this is an easy answer. Tomer. Gold does not trust Tomer very much at all. He has gotten the party into more problems than he has brought solutions.
Have any of us brought solutions, though? No, didn't think so.
No, Leon has. Leon's brought up solutions. Tomer has had some bad ideas. Ajax has brought up, 2 good ideas. And you just kind of hit things and hide most of the time.
I'm the one who fucking got us our secret established route bullshit, so I don't want to hear it.
Are you talking about your deal with the...
My boy Snooble? Absolutely. I love him.
That doesn't mean I would trust your character and you're extorting Snooble.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Without Snooble's knowledge.
No, I'm not extorting. I'm paying him for his services.
Alright, you're taking advantage of him.
I'm paying the man for his services.
So, Tomer has gotten us into fights. He's gotten most of the party in jail. He's very quick on the draw to shoot things for no reason. He doesn't think. He drinks all the time.
Well, so does Ajax.
Ajax holds his liquor.
When does Tomer not hold his liquor? They both hold their alcohol.
In the sense
You didn't hold your alcohol.
No, I got poisoned by the root.
Yeah, so did I, and I held my shit together.
Yeah, because you've done it before.
Yeah. Fucking nat 20 and I still took damage. I'm so
Regardless,
mad about that.
I just don't like Tomer, so I don't trust him. I'm very adamant about my disdain for Tomer as a character. What's your character's biggest flaw?
So many to choose from.
Yeah, but this is biggest. One of them's the biggest flaw.
Do you want physical or like...
Well, what holds your character back, right? What do you...
Trust issues?
Okay, well, there you go. Trust issues could be your biggest flaw.
And then, the obviously 11 AC and I'm squishy, but not trust issues. For sure.
For Gold, it would be being unable to properly convey what he's trying to say. With having a low charisma score, this is built into the character, baby. Gold isn't very good at saying what needs to be said. He does every now and then, as he doesn't have a crazy low charisma.
Well, you're blunt, too.
I am blunt. I will tell you things, and that's where not properly saying things comes in, because some people need sugarcoating. Some people need to...
Yeah, some people have emotions.
Yeah, some people have feelings. And Gold just doesn't respond well to that. So there's a bit of unnecessary tension because of the way that Gold says things. Mm. He doesn't try to be mean-spirited, but he just will say things and it's right on the tongue. No segue whatsoever. Let's see. What is most important to your character? We have 3 bullet points on it here of health, wealth, happiness. Is that just examples? Or
no,
what?
Those are the 3 choices out of the 3. Which one is your character?
Which of the 3 do you find the most important?
For Percy, I'm gonna go happiness because her needs ultimately outweigh anything else. I don't pay for shit anyway. That's why I don't ever get my own room. I don't have to pay for it. So money doesn't really matter too much to me. Health is nice, being alive is great, but trying to be happy in the sense of, I don't know, just doing something that's fun, I guess.
Okay.
What about you? Is it money, Mr. Gold?
No, like a normal elf, I don't have a lot of material possessions, and money isn't necessarily an important thing for me. It's a means to an end for Gold. Health is a hard thing to argue for. Like, let me ask you this, right? Are you not happy when you're healthy? So, why the fuck would health ever be a good answer for this?
I don't know. It's a choice.
And if you're happy if you have money, so happiness is the only real answer here.
Alright, so I was right. You're welcome. Alright, I think I'm gonna close this out with a final question, if you will. So, our DM, Jason, the lovely man that he is, has told us all to make a backup character. Just in case. Are you more excited for your backup character or your current character?
That's hard to define. See, I will happily play Gold. He's a fun character. I like his party dynamic. I think that he's well suited for me to roleplay. I also happen to enjoy the ideas that I've been brainstorming for my backup characters, because I'm kind of stuck right now between running a Satyr Barbarian and a Goblin Wizard or Goblin Artificer. I like the idea of making flawed characters. So the Satyr Barbarian is like a party girl and is going to get along very well with Tomer and Percy.
Yeah, probably.
And would want to really just run havoc. Right? And then the Goblin Wizard would be not an annoying character, but would definitely get on the nerve of Percy and Ajax real fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like messing with the party dynamic in ways of I have a character that will be liked by two, but hated by the other two. I really like that idea of having a character that can get along well with all, but he definitely has his favorites, and some people don't like him as much as they like the others.
Mm.
And I think we got a good party dynamic now, where I'd figure me and Leon are pretty tight. Me and Ajax are pretty tight. I have a huge disdain for Tomer, and you're not a tool for me, but...
Tolerate me.
I tolerate you because, again, you're a means to an end, right? If I have you, eventually the demon will come.
Alright. I love Percy, and I don't ever want Percy to die. I love playing Percy. But I don't really know too much about what I really want to do with my backup character. I know what my inspiration was. And it's Teal'c from Stargate SG-1 and Grey Fullbuster from Fairy Tail kind of combined a little bit.
Two very different characters.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes, but yeah, I don't know. I love Percy, and I don't want Percy to end, but she's real squishy, so it's a possibility.
Yeah, she could get power word killed at just about any moment now.
Yeah, like I said, she's real squishy.
Disintegration ray, she's dead.
Yeah, it's fine.
A boulder falling down a cliff.
Alright,
dead.
I get it. A fly lands on me. I understand I'm squishy.
So, regardless, guys, we appreciate the listen. Please, 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 if you get the opportunity, check out the Atavar Ascension D&D campaign. It's got some really good stuff. No need to hop in at session 1 if you don't want to not have any visual stimulation alongside it. I get it. Sometimes it's a little much just to listen to this stuff. But regardless, it's good content. We enjoy making it. We would love it if you guys supported it. Jen, do you have any closing remarks?
We're going to be doing live streaming, baby! So go check out the live stream. Real excited about that. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check us out.
If nothing else, just follow TogDM on Twitch so you get a notification when he comes live and you can see our lovely faces getting real angry at each other because we can't roll for shit.
And you can see who Percy's going to bone tonight.
Tomer.
Probably.
Regardless, guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. Don't fail your death saving throws, and have a good night. Bye.
Bye.